Blue Star Aquaculture's mission: to provide retired working horses the opportunity to be useful and improve their lives while bringing education, equine awareness, skill, and healing to the community and the environment.
Draft horses go all the way back to medieval times. They were used for war. They were bred big and heavy in order to carry the knights with all of their armor, and also so that they could be put into battle with armor of their own. Later they would be used for agriculture in Europe. That's our history with the workhorses. Horses, we have a history with horses. Western civilization has a history of horses for 6,000 years now. But once we had horses, mankind had horses, we were able to grow our civilizations into the sizes they became, huge civilizations, and able to cover a lot of territory and move a lot of things. So we owe everything to horses, and it could be said that, honestly, that human history is written in hoof prints.
In the quiet town of Palmer, Massachusetts, there lies an expansive farm with a unique purpose. It is here where majestic creatures that played a vital role in mankind's history come to find a loving home. The farm is called Blue Star Aquaculture. Pamela Rickenbach is the co-founder and executive director.
All of us are horse people. We all have our roots in them somehow. And all of us have ancestors that worked with them and lived with them. 100 years ago, we had them in our backyard. They were the family car.
We see horses at parades, fairs, on farms. They seem to be there solely for our enjoyment. What many fail to realize is that they are working. But what happens when they are retired? Rickenbach had the same question, and when she couldn't find the answer, she helped create one.
I started Blue Star Aquaculture with a couple friends of mine from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We were historic carriage drivers, and we saw a need to create something for retired working horses because of a personal experience we had with a horse that was a friend of ours who we were not able to find a home for. So we decided to put our heads together and create something that could help retired working horses. We're available for all horses. We specialize with the work horses, so we try to give them a safe haven sanctuary for the rest of their lives. The horses that are unable to come onto the farm are put on a waiting list so that as soon as room becomes available, they can move onto the farm. And what we do is we set up a page for them, a web page for them off our site so that we can start to share it with our virtual network and social media, on Facebook and through our website, and share it with the people we know are looking for horses.
When people come and spend time among the horses, it's easy to fall in love with them. Each horse has its own personality, its own unique spirit, and its own story about how they came to Blue Star Aquaculture.
Bud, the reason he was the original horse that we created the sanctuary for, he's from Philadelphia. He's the carriage horse that taught all of us how to drive. So we felt a special responsibility to Bud in taking care of him. He was diagnosed with idiopathic epilepsy, which means that he can have random seizures at any time, and they're triggered for different reasons. No one's really sure why. It can be diet, sometimes weather, sometimes stress, heat, cold. So every once in a while he'll have a terrible seizure, and we've been able to care for Bud for the whole time that we've been here. He's thriving, he's doing really, really well. We've actually gotten it so that he's on a real minimum amount of phenobarbital. And like I said, he has a wonderful routine that he's really happy with. He has people that love him and come to groom him. He's taught several of the young people on our farm how to handle horses because he's such a professional horse as it is. So Bud is one of our great success stories. There's Cupcake, who happens to be our littlest horse. Cupcake is, in his mind, bigger than all the horses out there. Cupcake's job, his one really important job that he has out there, is that he is the horse that greets all the new horses that come onto the farm. So Cupcake isn't afraid of anything. So we can have a horse come here that's 12 feet tall and weighs 2,500 pounds, and all the other horses are scared, and Cupcake's not scared. So we can put him with the horse. He's willing to be the ambassador for the herd. He's kind of the spokesperson for the herd. So he has quite a presence on Facebook. You'll find him under Cupcake the Herd Master, and you'll see all his shenanigans. He's famous for pulling things out of your pocket or biting you on the butt when you're not looking, or, you know, he's been trained. He knows how to do jobs. He can pull a cart. He can weed gardens. He can do a lot of things. He messes with the big horses by standing under them and biting their bellies, and, you know, they can't really get him off of him, so they got to play with him. And he's been famous for getting some of our really depressed horses back into playing and having fun, and he's wonderful that way. But mostly he's famous for being bad. We have another horse here named Huey Khan, who was injured as a youngster, about 2 years old. They jumped him too young before his bones were able to set in an appropriate way. They jumped him over a pretty high fence and popped both his knees. So he'll be lame his whole life. But in the early part of his life, he was struggling a lot with real intense pain. And most horses in Huey's case would be put down. But there was always something about Huey's spirit that it was impossible to just give up on him. And we were really, really blessed in that we were offered to allow Huey to be part of a study on a stem cell study through the University of Massachusetts. And he was given this special supplement that triggered a stem cell growth in his cells, which could help any injury in a body, but in particular in his case, his thrush and canker that were in his feet, and in his extreme lameness that he has in his legs and tendons. And Huey has made about a 60 to 70% recovery. He's not done with the study, so there's many more months to go, but the prognosis is amazing. And that's really thrilling because Huey has touched the hearts of a lot of people that have come here. And now his life has improved so much that now when we turn him out in the morning, he literally runs out to the paddock that he's going to be eating in. And for people that have witnessed, by coming to the farm over time, that have witnessed that kind of improvement, it's been inspiring for everyone, the whole community. People really care deeply about what happens to him. Peggy is absolutely, hands down, our most special case here on the farm. Peggy came to us when she was 8 months old. She's an Irish sport horse, so she comes from this high quality breeding. What that says about Peggy is that she has all this spirit in her and energy to succeed and win. I mean, that's how she was bred, that's what she wants to do. So when we met Peg when she was 8 months old, we decided right away that she was worth absolutely giving everything we could to help her. She was born with salmonella. So her first 4 months of her life, she was attached to IVs, and they thought they could save her. They did. They got her through that sickness. The first day that she was turned out with her mother in the field when she was 4 months old, a coyote attacked her and ripped out her tail, leaving her with no tail at all and no dock. And that's a very big part of her balancing and her neurological development. She had a lot of challenges ahead of her. She ended up growing with her back end really big and her front end very small, so very lopsided and out of balance. And because of her awkwardness, she got into several accidents, which she came through every single one of them. The thing about Peg is that all the while she's been learning how to pull a cart, and it's one of the things that makes her the most proud and happy. And Sally Sorrell is her trainer, and Sally has been along the journey with Peg from the beginning. And to see the relationship that those two have is probably one of the most inspiring things I've ever seen. We love Peg very much.
A great way to help Blue Star Equiculture is to go on a wagon ride in the spring, summer, or fall. In the winter, you can celebrate the holidays by taking a festive sleigh ride.
We specialize with horse-drawn history tours. We like doing history tours in local communities. We especially like to work with other nonprofit groups, so we like to work with schools or senior centers and people that typically can't afford to, have anything that expensive. A big part of our work is supporting working horses. So we support working horses wherever they are, and we like to talk about, people considering them for jobs whenever they're doing something special or holding some event in their life. Yeah, the biggest way the community can help us, if they're able, is to become a herd member. That's when you join the herd, so to speak, by paying $10 a month. That helps us support the work financially that we do, and it helps us do the outreach that we do into the communities. It helps us provide the opportunities we have here on the farm for young people to learn how to drive. It helps us to take care of the horses and get them in these special, studies and give them the types of care that they need to get them through whatever physical or challenges that they're going through. Being a herd member, you get to follow along and have a good deal of pride in knowing that you're supporting something that's really growing strong and doing so well in the community and finding so many wonderful homes for horses. And then other ways to help is to come and be part of the farm. If you're interested in farming, or you're interested in horse care, or you're interested in working in the community or history or any of those things, and we welcome people to get involved with us and help us do this work. It's good work to do in the community. It feels really good. It's really gratifying. It's filled with excitement and really a lot of good result. A lot of good comes out of this, more good than we could even describe.
My name's Justin Moraes. I am the barn manager here. I'm the teamster, driving instructor, one of the co-founders. I'm on the board. I'm the graphic designer. Every morning, I like to get up around 5 o'clock, and it depends on the time of the year, though. I am outside at 5 o'clock in the spring and in the summer. This time of year, in the fall and in the winter, I tend to stay in, get some computer work done, and I don't come out here sick early like a lot of farmers do. Winter is the time when you want to rest so that you can put up with 15, 16 hour days, 7 days a week, when it's time for that. The greatest joys here is my role as a driving instructor and how that relates to the volunteer program. We've had a number of young horse people come in over the past 2 years, 2.5 years, and they've been with us for that long. They've just learned so much and have become such incredible horse people. I'm so proud of them. Now they don't even hesitate to grab my team, harness them up, and take hay out with them. And on my morning off, it's a really beautiful thing to look out the window and see them with my team taking hay out and doing everything just right, the way that I asked them to do it. Well, a few of the girls that I've been driving with recently are Maddie, Josie, Jackie a little bit.
My name is Jackie, and I'm a volunteer at Blue Star, and this is Willie, and I love him.
So Maddie's a champ. She's been with me for 2 years. She's an incredible teamster at the age of 12. She goes up to me with UMass and is my teaching assistant in the college course, which is a really, really cool thing, and it's a really, really beautiful experience and an uplifting experience for someone that young to be teaching college kids. And when they get in a jam, she goes and grabs the lines and she fixes it. So it's super cool to see how she's developed.
I'm Maddie. I'm a volunteer at Blue Star Aquaculture. I come here whenever I can, like after school on weekends and stuff. I've had school for the past week, so I've been here a lot. When I come here, first I clean stalls and sweep and everything and get the barn done. And then I usually can ride or spend time with horses, anything like that.
And Josie, in the benefit show that we had in October, she won blue ribbons and she was competing against adults. So that was also a really cool thing to see her win those blue ribbons against 5 other adults.
My favorite part of Blue Star is just being with the horses and just being able to help with rescuing them
Tyler lives with us now, so he's working on the farm fairly, full time. He's just kind of a neighborhood kid who was walking around, and he passed this place so many times. I'd seen him on the street so many times, and one day he just came in and started helping. So it's a really wonderful thing, and he comes here with his sister, which is real cool. My take on doing anything with a horse is that you have to have a relationship with the horse before you do that. They have to trust you. So you have to form that relationship before you go and ask them to do anything. The idea is you have a horse. Let's make this horse useful so when I can't pay for my mortgage, I'm not looking at that horse and saying that horse doesn't contribute anything. If your horse has a job and makes even $150 a week for you, you are less likely to say, let's send him to the auction or put him down or sell him. Finding horses jobs will kind of deal with that economic situation. And that's what we try to do at Blue Star. That's what I'm trying to teach at UMass. And the second level course at UMass gets more into applying horsepower and finding horses jobs and looking at all the different things that horses can do. So Blue Star Aquaculture here, what we're doing here is a creative approach to sustainability. One thing that struck us about the farming programs at UMass is that they're talking about sustainable food and farming, yet they're still using tractors to till the land and do the work. So when we saw that opportunity up at UMass, that's what we're doing up there. We're teaching future farmers and future horse people how to think creatively about sustainability, and we absolutely cannot do it without the horses. Amongst the many things that we do, we care for 30 horses, or somewhere around that at all times. And in our approach to horse care, we try to look at it holistically. So we look at every little piece of each horse, and we think about the things that horse needs to be healthy. So the horse needs to be happy to be healthy. So that horse needs a person like one of those young ladies to love them and spend time with them and be a good friend. So that's one thing, and that's often forgotten, is that horse needs love, and I've seen it so many times here.